Hi, I'm Marcin Ludwig and I like help others solve their problems. I hope that after today's presentations, your life will be a little bit easier. And as you may already seen on the presentation, there are a few buzzwords like a Webpack with module federation or microfrontends. And of course, today we'll be speaking about those topics, but the real topic that we'll be speaking about today is a distributed system defects. Or maybe I should say more precisely, distributed system issues, or even more precisely, the distributed system issue. So today you will see few stories, and those stories will be a happy ending. And those stories will be divided in two areas. And I wanted to show you that the problem that we will discuss today isn't related to one specific implementation or one specific technology, like a front and back end, embedded, whatever. It is related to distributed systems itself. So let's get started with backend stories. But first, we have to take a step back and explain a few definitions. And first definitions that we'll explain today is a monolith. Monolith is a single application released in one point of time. We'll use this definition in the sake of this application, this presentation. Another definition that we need to explain today is a distributed system. Distributed system is a system where we have multiple applications, and those applications might be released in different point of time. So the difference is between monolith application and the distributed system is that in monolith application, we have one application, and this application is released in one point of time. And in a distributed system, we have multiple applications which might release in different points of time. So let's say that we have two applications, and today we can release application A and application B, and tomorrow, and still the whole system will be working. So let's go to the stories. And the hero of the first story is Bonifacy. Bonifacy is a regular developer. He joins to a new project. There are microservices architecture used. There are multiple teams. And he hasn't working with microservices before, so he is pretty excited that he will have a chance to work with this approach. Bonifacy joins to employee benefit system project. This system, as I said before, is built with microservices. There are multiple teams. And what's important, there are those teams or team members change very often. And the result of that currently in that project, there are many unexperienced teams. So Bonifacy goes to the work and gets his first task. And his first task is about to remove old access rule. Access rule is something that is checking if specific employee has access to the specific benefit. So after the work on that task, Bonifacy discovered that this access rule is using specific column in a database. And this column is used only via this specific rule. So after a conversation with other team members, the team decided also to remove this column in the database. This column wasn't used in a whole application, so right now it isn't used anymore. There is no need for to be there. So application is working fine. Everything was tested. Migration scripts were prepared, and so team is preparing for release. So release happened, and in that case, it goes smoothly. Of course, application is working. The team is happy. So almost. A few minutes later, some clients started reporting issue. It occurs that there was a report generated on demand, and this report stopped working. This report was generated or was created in another application. So the team started investigating, and after some time, they discovered they find the issue. So what's happened? It occurs that in this case, the issue was with a shared database. So more precisely, two microservices was sharing the same database. And when our hero removed a column from database, it also touched another microservice, which was using the same database. So in this case, the issue was shared database. Next story. And the hero of the next story is Jerzy. Jerzy, on the hand, is a junior developer. He joined on a new project. Again, he joined on a new project. There are microservices used. There are multiple teams. And he also hasn't worked with microservices before. The project that Jerzy is joining, it's called Content Management System. It's something like a Joomla or WordPress. We'll probably heard about those systems, but it's more advanced. It is a legacy application, but there is a light in a tunnel. Some of parts of the applications started to be rewriting in a new microservices approach. So right now, in that project, we have multiple applications. One of them is this legacy application, and some of the new applications are written in microservices. Unfortunately, Jerzy will join to this legacy monolith application. So his first task is to extend import functionality. Currently, in a system, there is a possibility to upload images, and business would like to also extend this functionality to upload also videos and audio files. And doing his work, Jerzy discovered that those files are written in a specific directory called images. But this functionality doesn't make sense anymore, because right now, our functionality is capable of uploading multiple different types. So after the conversations with the team, Jerzy decided to rename this directory from images to files. Sprints end and everything was tested, application is working fine, so team is preparing to release. And in that case, not everything goes so smoothly. Almost immediately, it occurs that in some parts of another application, this application stopped displaying proper images. So again, the team has to start investigating and find what's happened. So they spend some time and they find the issue. So what's happened? In that case, the issue was related to the file system, and more precisely, the problem that this file system was shared via two applications. So remember that our hero joined to a legacy application, and this legacy application was using file system directly. But also, there was an incorrect implementation microservice which was using the file system from monolith application. So when our hero changed this directory on a file system, it also touched another application which right now can't display proper images. So in that case, the issue was shared file system. Okay, so that's all for backend stories, and right now let's go for a frontend side, for the frontend ones. But first, we have to take a step back and explain a few definitions. And first frontend definition that we'll need to explain is a Webpack. Webpack is a JavaScript bundle. So put it simply, it translates or it takes code on the left and makes code on the right. The next definition that we'll explain today is a model federation. Model federation is a plugin for Webpack which solves or tries to solve few issues related to the distributed systems. One of the issues is a shared library issue. So let's say you have two applications, application A and application B, and those applications share some common functionalities. So our application B is a dashboard application which aggregates data from multiple applications and also displaying data from application A. So we have like a few ways to we could do this. We could use npm packages, but this is problematic approach because on every time we'll release something on application 1 or application A, then application B has to be updated. So Webpack is model federation is trying to solve this issue a little bit differently. Instead of releasing the application, it will just take the code from application A and just use it. Another problem that Webpack is trying to solve is a bundle size issue. So let's say we have two applications again, but in that case, our applications are using the same libraries. So for example, framework like React, Angular, or any other library. And in ideal world, we don't want to for user to download those libraries multiple times. So when user will goes to the first page, application A, and then when he will goes to the application B, then the user will get all the code in application A and only the needed code, like the business domain code on application B. So how can it be done? So let's see it in an example. As you can see, there are two applications, application 1 and application 2. And those applications are sharing the same button, up to button. So how it is implemented? On the right, you have there is a regular export, normal export. So we are exporting button as usual. But on the left, on the other hand, we have you can see that there is a import button import, but import looks like a locally, like it would be imported from local directory or monorepo. So how it is possible? And the magic lives in a Webpack config file. So again, let's see how it is done. Here we have a Webpack config file, and the most important things are two properties: expose on the right and remotes on the left. So on the right, we are saying that we are exposing or so our application is exposing some components or some code, and this code will be available for other applications. And in this specific example, we are exposing button. On the left image, on the other hand, we have something called remotes. So we are saying that we have up to property, and in this property, there is a remote server at which we will have another components. So you remember that we have this up to /button, and this is what is it. So right now we can go to the next story. And the next hero of the next story is Siegfried. Siegfried is junior developer. He joins to a new project. Again, this time it's a Microfrontend with multiple teams, and he hasn't working with Microfrontend before. And Siegfried is joining IoT management system. This application or this system is capable of displaying data from IoT devices and also send commands to those devices. So for example, turn the light, start the engine, close the doors, etc. So on that project, there are multiple teams, there are multiple applications, and what's important, there are two types of applications, product application and platform application. And the difference is that in a product application is specific to the client. So for example, LG, Samsung, Apple, Tesla. And platform application is aggregating all IoT devices from all companies. And the whole system is configured using Webpack and module federation. So Siegfried goes to the work and gets his first task. And it is to update address component. It is pretty easy task even for Siegfried, but also during the work, he discovered that there is a small issue, small error in that component. The property which should mean something like a description, this property has a small typo. So Siegfried decided to fix this error. He format the code. He fixed all the tests. The application is working. He fixed also all the places required for that change. And Yeah, that's all. The team is preparing for a release. So release is coming, and in that case, it goes very well. Everything are happy, and goes to the home. It was Friday, so after a few days, the team comes back, and unfortunately, it occurs that there is an issue in another application. One of the pages in another application, others page, stopped working properly. And it's so weird because this another application wasn't released since 2 weeks, so it should be working. So the team started investigating, and after some time, they discovered what's happened. So the websites which should be working, looking like that, in that case, one of the applications started looking like that. So there was a missing component in that case. And after investigation, the team discovered that the issue was related with the latest changes that Zekret did. So he fixed a typo in this component, and but he fixed it only in one application, and it wasn't fixed in another this platform application, which was also using the same others component, and that was the issue. So in this case, the issue was shared component. The next and the last story, and the hero of the last story is Janina. Janina is a senior developer. He joined to a new project with microservices, multiple teams, and she also hasn't worked with Microfrontend before. But she's excited that she has a chance to work with these so advanced technologies. She joined to a time tracking system. This is a system where employees can track or add a time sheet. So again, on this project, we have multiple teams, we have multiple applications because there is a microfrontend, and everything is configured with Webpack and module federation. So Janina gets his first task, and this task is very simple. So she finished it in a few days. But also she discovered that there is an old React version used in that project, even though the project has only 2 months. After conversations with other team members, she decided to upgrade to the newer version, React version 18. And also after the update, one of the colleagues, Janina, used the new API from React, which is available since version 17 plus. So, but everything was working fine. Test passed. Application was working. It was tested by whole team, by QA engineers. So the team started preparing to the release. In this case, it wasn't go so smoothly. Almost immediately, some parts of the application stopped working. It occurs that another application, the dashboard application, which was aggregating data from multiple applications, and on that application, one of the components stopped working properly. So the team started investigating, and they discovered what's happened. So the application, which should look like that, started looking like that. And the issue was related to the latest change that the team did. Basically, update React component. But this wasn't the real issue because Webpack module federation by default will work like that it will take the lowest possible version. So in this case, React 16. But the issue was that one of the colleagues, Janina colleagues, used a new API available since version 17. So when this dashboard application tried to use this new news to display this component from another application, this application stopped working because on a dashboard application there still was used React in version 16. So in this case, the issue occurs that it was shared library. So right now you might think, does Webpack with module federation solve the shared resource issue. It isn't so, but questions Google might answer. And as you might know, or might guess, there is an answer to that. And there is a solution for that. So let's go back to our example. So again, you see two applications, and right now we are extending our configuration with one additional property, which is a required version. So right now we are saying for React, for Webpack module federation, that there are required versions in a version range. And that was the last story. So today you heard 4 stories. This story of the hero of the first story was Bonifacy. Bonifacy was a regular developer. He joins to the project employee benefit system. He removed all access rule, and also during the work he discovered that this old access rule is using one specific column in a database, but this column is used only via only that rule. So after conversation with team members, they decided to also remove that column. But it occurs that another application that they wasn't available, that it is working like that, also was using their database. And this caused the problem. So when they removed that column, some part of the another application stopped working. Hero of the second story was Jerzy. Jerzy was a junior developer. He joins the content management system project, and his first task was to extend functionality with a possibility to add new types, upload new file types. And during his work, he discovered that current functionality is uploading or saving files in a specific directory name called images. But this function doesn't make sense anymore, so he changed it. But it occurs that another system was also using the same resource, in that case file system. And when they change the directory name, it occurs that another application stopped working. The hero of the third story was Siegfried. Siegfried was a junior developer. He joins to a IoT management system project, and his first job was to update others component. And also during his work, he discovered that this others component has a small error, small issue in a component API. So he fixed this component API, he changed one of the properties, and also he fixed his application. But it occurs it wasn't enough, because this component was also used in another application on which this issue wasn't fixed. And the hero of the last story was Janina. Janina was a senior developer. He joins to a time tracking system project. She got her first task was very simple, and she accomplished it very fast. And so she had some free time, and she decided to update React to the newer version. It wasn't the problem itself, but other team members started using the new API available in this React version. And it occurs that another application was using some parts of application on which Janina was working, and was trying to generate or display those part of applications. And it was the problem, because this another application was using a different React version. And then that was the issue. So, what do you think? What are common issues from all the stories? Here you have tips. And so the common issue in all of the stories was shared resources. In the first story, the problem was with shared database. In the second, shared file system. In third, shared component. And in the fourth, shared library. So if you don't want to create create from your distributed system, distributed monolith, then don't share your resources. But if you really have to, then do it wisely. That's all that I wanted to say you. Thank you and see you later. Do you have any questions? What's the source of this report? The real issue is that the source of the report was okay. So let me maybe back to this story, and I will explain to you. So okay, we have two applications, and two applications are working in the same system. Sorry, there's a lag here. So two applications are working in a one system, and in an ideal world, to have like a microservices approach, those microservices should be independent. So if any of those microservices is using another resources, so in that case, either it is database, either file system, components or whatever, those systems are independent. So it means when we release something, we can break another system if we don't know about such change. So it doesn't, so if we, for example, we will use any column for, it doesn't, we can use everything or just specific one column. But if we just using something from another system, this is the main problem. Because if we have multiple teams and those teams doesn't know that they rely on each other, so right now when one team do something, it might break the work of another team. So does it answer your question? We have other questions? Yeah. Okay. Another question. So, doesn't this mean that in each case the communication between the teams sat? It seems to me that the change to bump up the version of the framework should be consulted with the rest of the teams, or the case with the deleted column looks like a lack of documentation. Yes, that's right. There is a cost of communication, but yeah, if you communicate it properly, okay, that's right. Yeah, but not always it's possible because somebody in a company or in a project has to know about such dependencies. Yeah, if you, for example, switch all team members, so right now someone can maybe lose this knowledge. Yeah. But yeah, agreed. If you will transfer the knowledge, or there will be people who are able to catch those differences, then it's okay. But anyway, for example, in a microservices world, in an ideal situation, you shouldn't share your database. A case with microfrontend is more complex because it's a pros and cons. Yeah, we have like a benefits that we can share or use less code, and it is easier to use, but there is a additional communication cost which has to be done. Okay, the next one, I have a similar case. I have 3 micro apps. one is very big and two are small. We use React 16 and we want to keep React 16 for the big micro app, and we want to update to React 18 the other two. I think it isn't question. I think it's summary.
It's also written, should I update React 18? The two small
Okay, I see. Okay, I see it right now. Should I update to React 18 the two small micro apps and remove a React from shared Webpack object? Oh, I don't know if it's like a simple answer to that. It depends on many factors, I would say. It depends. It depends on many things. So first of all, are those applications are connected? Like, do you want to share only React, or maybe some kind of functionalities? Because if you are sharing only the React and and you want to have the newest version in new applications, and then they are pretty independent, then maybe the good idea is to split them and don't share it. Then it will be easier. But it's like a no simple answer. I have to know more details to be able to answer that question. How to fix the last story? Okay, how to fix the last story? You can configure Webpack, like say, okay, there is a minimal required version, and this will fix the issue, yeah. But if you, but you have to do it in all applications, yeah. So let's say you can't, for example, use the newest version, so or set to this version range too broadly. So for example, for I don't know 14 to 18, because if someone will use the newest functions which will be available, for example, in this React 17 something, then it will stop working. So you have to synchronize that. Okay. If there is no other questions, then thank you for attention and see you later. Have a nice day. Bye.